Good evening. My name is Clifford Murray, and I am the founder of Empowerment for Tomorrow. And this YouTube channel will be presented or marketed as Cliff's Office. Again, I'm Clifford Murray, the founder of Empowerment for Tomorrow. And this YouTube channel will be known as Cliff's Office. Cliff's Office is simply an extension of Empowerment for Tomorrow. Well, what do you mean by that? 10 years ago or so, 2011, I developed a platform, Empowerment for Tomorrow. Empowerment for Tomorrow was designed specifically for young black males, and that they would be targeted, that age, young black males would be targeted between the ages of 14 and 19, foundationally. Black male youth only. Another caveat of the Empowerment for Tomorrow platform was that the young man's biological father, if the biological father could not be available, and we know that there would be a myriad of reasons why that would be, an older brother, a grandfather, an uncle, some type of older male stakeholder, if you will, involved in the young man's life, also had to be present at the presentations of Empowerment for Tomorrow. That platform was set against this ugly thing we call the United States of America and its white supremacist run and control promulgated systemic racism system that we live in. I believe with everything that in me, older men such as myself have to establish synergy with younger men, even at the ripe old age of 14, to where seeds have to be planted in their minds so they can understand why things are going on and how to navigate, since most of us still want to live in this country called America. How do we navigate this system of white supremacy and how it affects black men specifically? I did a video years ago around the same time frame on Facebook. We certainly understand that there are single mothers in black America, single black women, female stakeholders that are raising young men in this age window between 14 and 19 years of age by themselves. And on that video, at the time I had a website up for Empowerment for Tomorrow, personal information, my email, my phone number. And in that video, I explained if in fact you were a female caregiver, a single mother or so forth, of a young man between this age window, you could call me, get my information, and we'd have a talk, and more than likely you could simply drop the man off at the presentations of Empowerment for Tomorrow. We would have those presentations here at the clubhouse, here in the subdivision. Sometimes I'd have to acquire and rent out some recreational centers around the city, around the area, to put these presentations on, where we go over a myriad of topics. But the point is, we love our black women, but nothing but the fellas in dealing with this. Women, black women, prohibited from attending. This platform was strictly designed for male black youth foundationally. And of course, black men in general were certainly welcome to come. But if you had sons or young men you were mentoring between 14 and 19 years of age, pretty much high school and right out of high school, you would need to be that mentor, that male stakeholder would need to be present as we would go over a myriad of topics affecting black men. I believe with everything in me, black America will never be right. where we're trying to establish black empowerment, which is to say for ourselves, by ourselves, because of ourselves, black America will never be right unless black men are right. And I think we've been missing that over the last several decades. And it's very important to establish that synergy between older men and younger men, to tell them some of our experiences so they can avoid some potential pitfalls. Of course, nobody is exempt from pain and disappointment in this life, but certainly listening to advice of older black men trying to tell younger black men what to look out for and how to navigate this system of white supremacy. Since we got to live here and deal with all of these things, it would behoove you to come on in and pay attention and listen and glean from some of the seeds that are being planted. I basically looked at Empowerment for Tomorrow as an unlearning, if you will, from so many things that we've been taught and trained within this dynamic of living in this country, from white supremacist control, propaganda, you name it. As a black demographic, we don't even own our own voice with respect to media outlets, radio, TV. We don't control any of our narratives or anything. A lot of the topics that I cover, black clergy, black educators, your black politicians wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Another thing about Empowerment for Tomorrow, in no way, in shape, or form was it designed to disrespect black men in any way. And it wasn't designed to disrespect our black women. They were simply prohibited from attending. The synergy that needed to be established between men, in a sense, raising men. Women have a particular design and function in that regard, and in this age window, it wouldn't even be beneficial to any woman attending, because practically everything in there is designed to put an imprint on our young men and men in general on what's going on in this country and how it affects black men in particular. This channel is going to be specifically designed, as Cliff's office being an extension of Empowerment for Tomorrow. Let me make sure I'm clear about what this channel is about and who it's for. Black men, unapologetically black, alpha male, if you will, top of the food chain mindset, high dominant, conscientious. We understand the importance of being a provider, being a protector. We understand the importance that black men and black women need each other. I'm going to touch on that here in a minute. We understand the importance of what we lend to the black dynamic. There are a myriad of things that the black community needs to do with respect to black empowerment. Without question, black men and our dynamic within our community have to be at the forefront. We have to lead. We have to set the example. Now, there's some other terms I've learned and picked up from some other platforms out here in cyberspace. There's bussy term, B-U-S-S-Y, instead of putting the P in front. I've heard that as it's related to beta male black men in the bussy aspect, if you will. If that's you, this channel is not for you. And moreover, let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. It's what we will be doing on this channel. May rest in peace, John Lewis, often considered a civil rights icon. The ideology and rhetoric that John Lewis talked about, in my assessment, the civil rights movement and the NAACP, and that mindset and rhetoric which is pervasive throughout the Congressional Black Caucus, that's misplaced energy and resources. If you're the type of black man where John Lewis, Andrew Young, Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Al Sharpton, you love James Clyburn, this channel is not for you. You will not like it here. The aforementioned are black men who are cowardice in every aspect, and I'll be talking in greater detail as we move through Cliff's office and what it's about as we take on topic learning assessments, where our young men need to understand and acknowledge who out here is about black empowerment and who's not. And unfortunately, the world in which we live, this country, white supremacy, quite frankly, does not like black men such as myself and the black men that this channel will be endeavoring to reach and what this channel is for. Unapologetically black, focused, intelligent, articulate. This channel over here, unfortunately, gentlemen, you'll have to deal with my ugly ass. There will not be any beautiful black women with butt cheeks hanging out, figures that'll stop traffic from here to California. I'm a man. I'm a real man all the way. I certainly like a beautiful black woman. But they will not be on this channel dancing around half naked and so forth. This channel will be about substantive matters. This channel will be no nonsense. This channel will be about zero tolerance on a lot of subject matters. When I look at some of these other platforms out here in the social network, social media platforms, some of the subject matter I wouldn't give a microsecond to. Better yet, a nanosecond. I'll divulge more of my background in electronics and engineering aspects and so forth, but I wouldn't give 1 nanosecond to a lot of the topics that are inconsequential. This channel will be about taking care of business. Playtime has been over for a long time within the black community. Without question, black men, as far as America is concerned, public enemy number one. And yes, there is a hierarchy as viewed through the lens of white supremacy. And quite frankly, it's been my assessment that black America is America's permanent underclass. Back to our women, if you will. Now, black men and women need each other. In no way is this platform designed to disrespect black men, and we're not going to be out of bounds critiquing our black women. Now, there are some platforms out here that I've seen in their sphere of influence on what they do with the dynamic between black men and black women. The level of toxicity is off the chain. It's unbelievable. Now, as we move through this syllabus, and I'll explain why I'm using words like syllabus and outline here in a minute as it pertains to my background, but some of these platforms that I've seen where they're engaged in black men and black women and the dynamic of that relationship and what it should be, it's out of control. They're knocking the ball back and forth across the court to each other with some of the most vehement, disgusting dialogue you ever want to hear. We don't need that. Now, are there black women who subconsciously, unbeknownst to them, and I will get into this in greater detail, that are actually aiders and abettors of white supremacy and all of its peripheral underpinnings when it comes to dealings with black men. Yes. Are there black men in America who don't have their stuff together from a correct standpoint with black women? Absolutely. There's some things that we got to get our stuff together on. And there is in significant measure, a lot of black women in our community who are not necessarily doing things that would promote the support of black men. They're distracted and confused in some areas. There are some black women who I've seen on these social media platforms who understand, particularly black men like us, where this channel is about. You know, the beta male bussy bitch, if that conveys to some people, this platform is not for you. You don't want to be here. And those aforementioned so-called civil rights icons and the rhetoric that they promote, basically kumbaya, ticket to ride, everything gonna be all right now. Y'all just keep your head down low and don't make no waves. We want white people to love us. We just want a seat at the table. No. If that's you, stay the hell off this channel. Stay the hell out of our cyberspace. You're not wanted here. And we're not simping over here either. Let me make that damn clear. But we're not going to be all over the place, out of bounds with our critique of our black women who don't have their things together. At the end of the day, if that black woman doesn't understand and see what she's doing with respect to not lending the proper energy toward black empowerment, if that black man doesn't understand what he needs to do. And this is important for our young black men to understand. Again, going to that foundational base, planting the right seeds in their minds. That's going to be very important. But we're not going to be here out of bounds doing things like some of these, my goodness, some of these other platforms, and, you know, let that be their wheelhouse of expertise. But I think some of it, a lot of it is out of order. That level of toxicity, quite frankly, is not needed. One of the things that are going to have to be a solid foundation for black empowerment, none of this is going to happen overnight, but certainly black men and black women need each other, going to have to get together and understand it and get rid of a lot of these peripherals that keep us distracted, grasping for air in so many aspects of our demographic living in this country. So let's make sure that's understood right away quick. We're not simping over here. This place is not for simps. This place is not for beta male-minded bussies with a kumbaya ticket to ride like so many of our cowardice black men and women in this country. And I'll just go ahead and lay this out right now. There are three factions that I've talked about in my live presentations of Empowerment for Tomorrow. Black clergy, your black politician, and your black educator. I would argue if they were on the same, if they were in one accord and of the same mindset about black empowerment, I could argue that there'd be a new day in black America. But gentlemen, there's not enough yellow paint to fill the cowardice groove of black clergy, black politicians, the Congressional Black Caucus being chief among them, and our black educators. Not enough yellow paint to fill that cowardice groove. And I believe that everything in me, with everything in me, our Creator, that type of cowardice is a stench to his nostrils. The Congressional Black Caucus, our black clergy and black educators ridiculously pathetic. Those three entities alone do so much in undermining Black empowerment, it's not even funny. You're also going to hear me make a statement, probably more than you'd like to hear me say. 7 out of 10 Black people in America don't think critically about a damn thing in the first place. I represent the 3 out of 10 who do. There's going to have to come a time when the needle gets pegged, gets moving in the right direction on a paradigm shift that we need toward Black empowerment, that statement can simply be flipped around. Where one day we can see 7 out of 10 Black people do think critically about our plight with living in this white supremacist controlled country. And 3 out of 10 are just left to wander in the wilderness. They can't go where we're trying to go in the first damn place. But until that happens, unfortunately, this is what we've got. Now, my background, first of all, I'm coming to you from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'm a veteran of the Navy's nuclear submarine community, ballistic missile. I served in the Navy for a while, where I acquired an associate's degree in electronics. Since then, I've been out of the Navy for a while. I've worked as a civilian. I've acquired another degree, a bachelor's degree in technical management, project management. One of the things that has lent itself to me doing what I'm doing now and putting my 2 cents in and trying to help our Black community through this avenue of reaching young Black men is in the Navy. I also became a master training specialist, an electronics instructor, and moreover, I qualified as a certified course curriculum developer. Now, curriculum development is curriculum development, lends itself toward technical writing and so forth. Well, whoop-de-doo. If you can't use any of these experiences, degrees, accolades that we've acquired as Black men and women to help our Black people in our community, in my opinion, what the hell good is it for anyway? So many of us, particularly Black men such as myself, Black men where this channel is about, white America, white men in particular, find us intimidating and so forth. And I will deal with that later on in these topic learning assessments that we will be dealing with every week. A lot of times you'll hear me use words interchangeably. There's a buzzword of Black consciousness. I would be one who represents the Black conscious community. Sometimes you'll hear me replace consciousness with Black courageous. There are other wonderful men and women on some of these platforms out here who are all about Black empowerment, for us, by us, because of us. They think critically about issues. Obviously, what we're talking about in our various wheelhouses of expertise will never see the light of day on the Steve Harvey and Tom Joyner, which is now Ricky Smiley. These Black bobblehead political pundits on CNN. They got a few over on Fox News, MSNBC, what have you. None of their talking points are steeped in real, true Black empowerment. I won't even talk about the shenanigans and mess that I just witnessed recently on the BET, Black Entertainment Television, and the BET Music Awards, which have been deplorable year after year. They keep upping the ante on ratchetness. And the other night watching them, are you kidding me? Our Black women basically on stage with practically nothing on, bending over with their asses in the air on one end of the spectrum. Then you got this little Nas X ridiculous guy kissing out and making with another man in his presentation on the other end of the spectrum. All of us have had our prayers and condolences with the family of George Floyd and the police officer Chauvin, who had his foot on the man's neck and basically outright murdered him for the whole world to see on that video. Well, the prosecution did bring charges on him, and he was found guilty on all counts. Recently, the sentencing he received, in many of our opinions, was still too light. I believe he got 22 years. But it's interesting to me that Mr. Ellison, the Minnesota's state attorney general, make some type of forgiving damn statement on 60 Minutes. On 60 Minutes. Think about that platform, that this black attorney general for the state of Minnesota is trying to get America to understand Chauvin's sense of humanity, and basically making remarks not to be too hard and too judgmental. After all, Chauvin is a human being. Are you kidding me? But we shouldn't be shocked on the ridiculousness that we see. We always talk about voting and every damn thing else, and these black people get in these offices. I mean, hell, even President Obama, he has the distinction of being America's first black president. But with respect to what he did specifically for the black community, for the black demographic, and we know if you were old enough to vote, practically every black person who could vote voted for President Obama. But from a political standpoint, he might as well have been just another white president. He did not do anything specifically for black people. And in several interviews that he was involved in, he made it quite clear, if anybody with a brain in their head could figure out, he made it quite clear in several interviews that he wasn't about to do anything specifically for black America. Even cited in one interview, and I'm paraphrasing, how would our Latino brothers feel about this and that if I was to go out and blah, blah, blah? Who cares? But then again, your lineage does not run through chattel slavery like mine. Black Americans, we're the only unique, peculiar people in this country where our lineage runs through chattel slavery. So we've got a myriad of things that we will be dealing with on Cliff's office. So many shenanigans that are going on. Now, I have an outline to follow. You'll hear me use the word syllabus interchangeably with topic learning assessments that we will be covering every week. You black men who have sons in that age window, get them around the campfire, so to speak, because we need to establish plant some real seeds in their minds to understand what's going on. And one of the things I've certainly seen and learned when I did have a few presentations, got a little frustrated with it because I thought it should have been more. The boots on the ground, if you will, that I did with flyers and trying to talk to local churches and so forth to get Empowerment for Tomorrow off the ground and understand the importance of what we were trying to do. And to teach our young black men what's going on in this country. And I learned from that, though, our young black men do want to know why. Why is this happening? What's going on? They do have those questions. I tend to have brought that out in them more so than some of the fathers. So now I'm going to try this medium on YouTube, this social cyberspace, and we'll see how this goes. But Cliff's office is going to be a very important vehicle, black men in particular with sons in this age range. Of course, all black men obviously come on board now that you know what this channel is for. I've probably separated a lot of the wheat from the chaff. You got to deal with my ugly ass. There will be no beautiful, black, bodacious women on this channel. We will not be talking about a bunch of shenanigans, inconsequential crap. We will be dealing with substantive matters that need to be handled. A lot of what we will be dealing with will be no nonsense. And we've got to get to the point, black men, that there's zero tolerance on a lot of subject matters, that white supremacy, and unfortunately, a lot of our black bobblehead, talking head nigger surrogates who aid and abet white supremacy. It's like a two-pronged battle. Black men and women such as myself, we know we have to deal with the white supremacy component of white America. And if that isn't enough, there are black men and women who hate us too. That's 7 out of 10. A lot of them want to be white. A lot of them want this kumbaya ticket to ride crap. These BET Music Awards talking about America's culture and promoting black excellence. There was nothing about black excellence on any of these BET Music Awards in probably the last 7 or 8 years anyway, and they keep ratcheting up the ratchetness. But that's what we're telling our young people black excellence is. This is our culture that we're proud of. The effeminization of black men are everywhere. The promotion of hoochie mamas everywhere. And I'm looking at some of the people just involved around that energy. Maxine Waters, considered a highly respected congresswoman. She's on the platform. Kirk Franklin opened up the show with a rapper. I can't think of his name right now. But it was unbelievable to me, the applause that they were standing up and applauding these presentations that were, in my opinion, you might as well have been at a high-end strip club. That's what the BET Music Awards have looked like to me the last several years. So we've got all of these shenanigans coming from the entertainment side of the tracks. Our news media, radio, our print media. There's nothing significant about any positive presentations or anything concerning black men in particular. There's this narrative that I've seen for several years. Black women are taking over, running everything. I think the BET Music Awards put an emphasis on that production being specifically about women first and foremost. So that's everywhere. And that lends me to the segue. I'm going to get on out of here. Now that we know what this channel is about and who it's for, unapologetically black men, top of the food chain mindset. If alpha male, alpha king, no jellyback men, real men, however all of that conveys to you, fine. Black men who understand the importance of protecting and providing. Black men who understand the importance of no nonsense, zero tolerance about a lot of shit that we don't even need to be damn dealing with. Understanding the importance that black men and black women need to have a better dynamic in communicating and establishing relationships moving forward. We're not here to hate any other demographic. I'm certainly not here to promote any type of discord, but make no damn mistake about it. Black first. I love mine first. And I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit of kumbaya and black and brown and other. Every damn time I turn around, I don't think I've heard any black person in the political, entertainment, athletic, you name it, when they're talking about issues affecting the black community, you don't even have to wait for it. You know it's coming. This affects black people and people of color and other marginalized groups. Who gives a damn about whoever these others are? I'd like to know who the hell that is. Who gives a damn about these other people of color and marginalized groups when Black America is America's permanent underclass and we occupy the number one spot of damn near everything bad and every outlier in society? This channel is not for your beta male minded, if you're in love with the rhetoric of John Lewis and Andrew Young and all of those, that misplaced energy and resources, the NAACP. I'll be dealing with the implosion that seems to be happening with Black Lives Matter. I explain why I never liked them. The people in the Charlotte area understand a lot of my points, but I guess I'll be out here doing things on a more national base. Hopefully this channel will move and spread and we can get things done that we need to get done. But all of this ridiculous rhetoric, if you're in love with these men and women, if you're in love with the Congressional Black Caucus and all of the mindsets that undermine black empowerment, this channel's not for you. Stay off and stay the hell out. You black men who are about business and what this channel is about, I love you more than you know. So I guess this would be defined as my inaugural coming out video. Laying the groundwork and foundation of what we will be about over here. Not looking to get into any kind of beef with anybody else. I don't give a damn. This channel is going to be what it's about. How things affect us through the lens of black men, particularly establishing some things for our young black men in the generations behind us so they can hopefully turn this damn thing around. And to that end, you can look to see my videos every week around the same time. So certainly like and share. Appreciate that. But get the word out to everybody you know. The first topic, learning assessment, that we will be dealing with next week will be the importance of image. Black men, is the image you're portraying, would it be indicative of a positive image that would lend itself to black empowerment? Or is the image you're portraying playing right into the hands of white supremacy. We're going to take a look at it next week, damn it. Stick around. Love you more than you know. Beta male bussy bitches, if you meet that definition, leave it to black people to come up with something like that. But there you go. Stay the hell out. I'll see you next week. The importance of image. Thank you.